across several mountain passes behind thousands of meters high rocks, there is a very special place. There is home. Join my ride to some of my favorite roads like COL de L'ISERAN, Petit Saint Bernard and Grandes Saint Bernard, and find your destination home with me. Good morning, it's 5:30 and probably our last or maybe second last day of riding back direction Switzerland. Good morning everyone. You don't really see that it's morning because obviously it's still kind of night and pitch black dark here on these mountain roads, but it's about 5:30 and we decided to leave very early today because we might attempt to ride back home to Switzerland in one go. And we are not going the direct way, but I want to take you guys to some of the most amazing mountain passes here on the way back, so it would be quite a long day. We will see if we make it. Yeah, it's always hard to get up in the early mornings, but it's so worth it. Look at these mountains before sunrise. Absolutely stunning. We are only riding here on the highway for a very short time and we exit here in Susa, that you guys already know because that's where our ride to Col del Finestre and Asieta Ridge Road started. But today we're not going to Susa, but in the other direction, to Lac du Mont Cenis. We crossed the border from Italy to France one more time, and a few hairpins took us up to Lac du Mont Cenis. Lac du Mont Cenis is a reservoir in France and extends over a length of 4,500 meters. You can surround Lac du Mont Cenis on a nice gravel road. On the other side of the lake is one of the most easy off-road stretches in the region that I can highly recommend to all beginners. Lac du Mont Cenis existed in a smaller form before it was dammed, but the first dam was built in 1921, the current one between 1962 and 1968. Right after Lac du Mont Cenis, you cross the mountain pass COL du Mont Cenis at an altitude of 2,081 meters, and the drive offers beautiful panoramic views on the peaks of the National Park La Vanoise. Some historians believe this pass was used by Hannibal when he made his famous Elephant Alps crossing. Indeed, people have been crossing COL du Mont Cenis for thousands of years. It was the most frequently used passage between Italy and France in the Middle Ages. When the French ports were blockaded by the British, Napoleon ordered an improved road built over the pass that was finished in 1810.
On a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem? if I posted a letter.
We will turn off now to Col de L'Iserain, which is one of my favorite paved passes in the region. So this will be the first pass today that I really wanted to show you guys. And if nothing bad happens, like fog or a bad view, I think it will be amazing.
And suddenly you told me, baby.
Coming from the south like we did, you turn onto route D902 in Lons-le-Villain. Follow the route that will take you to a beautiful valley, always along a creek. The southern climb of Col d'Iserain starts to head skywards at Lons-le-Mont Cenis, some 33 kilometers before the summit. Wow, the sunrise is happening right in front of us, and we are the only ones here on the road because we are so early. I can highly recommend this. The real climb of the mountain pass Col de L'Iserain starts at Bonneval-sur-Arc. This is so pretty, as well with all the colorful wildflowers on the side of the road. I'm so happy we went this early. Col de L'Iserain is part of the Grandes Alpes, and the climb is included in the touristic route des Grandes Alpes. The road was constructed between the First and Second World Wars and took 34 years to complete, finally joining the Maurienne and Isère Valley for the first time in history. The route has existed for hundreds of years as a mule pass, but it took 600 workers to build the new road, which was opened in 1937. This is an absolutely stunning morning ride. Such a beautiful path.
Hey, I found my heart again.
This view here on the mountains, look, they still have snowy peaks. It's really absolutely stunning.
I could wait a million years or more until you came knocking at my door. It's hard to be this real. We can play our favorite song, dancing to it all night long with you.
Getting close to the top of Col de L'Iserain now, and that's it. The top with this old church here and a restaurant.
Playing any games.
Col de L'Iserain is also called the King of the Alps because it's the highest paved mountain pass in the whole Alps. It was featured 7 times at the Tour de France and is the holy grail for many motorcycle and bike tourers. At the top, the sign says that Col de L'Iserain has a height of 2,770 meters, but maps only report 2,764 meters. 6 meters more or less though. The pass is still one of the best in the whole Alps. So this is the top of Col d'Iserain, and it's pretty high, 2,700 meters. So you really feel the altitude. It's kind of like you need to breathe much more to get the air. So all of this up here is as well a skiing area, and I would love to come here at one point in winter time. I mean, imagine how beautiful the mountains would look, like all covered in snow. And the road would be gone because then in winter the pass is closed and it's basically all skiing here. Now that I'm a bit more awake after all the amazing views and inhaling the fresh, cold, high mountain air, I want to tell you a little bit more about our ride today. I think it's about 600 kilometers home, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, but we basically only want to do them on small roads, so we think it might be easily a 12 or 10 hours ride, I think 10 to 12 hours. And considering as well that it's weekend and the road will be busy with other travelers. So we will see. If we make it home today, we try, but if we don't make it, we stay somewhere else. Our ride down the valley was not less scenic than our ride up the pass, and at the foot of the mountain we reached Val D'Isère. Today the town is a famous skiing resort and it has developed its ski tourism since 1934. But due to its proximity to the mountain pass Petit Saint Bernard that we were about to approach next, Val D'Isère has been a place where traders passed through much earlier on. Our ride through France will already come to an end very soon. We will head right to the next mountain pass now, and that one is called Petit Saint Bernard, or translated in English, Little Saint Bernard Pass. And this pass is the border from France to Italy again. But we will only be in Italy a very short time again before we then finally get into Switzerland. On the way up to the top of Petit Saint Bernard, after a few hairpin turns, you pass La Rosière, another French skiing area. And from there it's only a short ride until you reach the top of the mountain pass. That's the top of the pass, and look, my travel partner is already standing there because I stopped to take a picture. So this is Petit Saint Bernard Pass. Col du Petit Saint Bernard is not as small as its name might make you believe. With an altitude of 2,188 meters, it connects the Savoie region of France with the Aosta Valley in Italy. The Little Saint Bernard Pass has been used for thousands of years, dating back historically to at least the Roman Republic. Many sources say that this is part of the route that the famous military commander Hannibal took too with his armies and elephants when marching south to war with Rome around 218 BC. Leaving the top of the pass and entering Italy again. Hello, Italy. This is the mountain town La Touille, and this here, Chocolat, is a very, very good bakery. We will not stop here today because it's such a long day, but if you ever drive through here, stop at the Café Chocolat and eat their cakes and little tartlets. They are so, so good. The next part of the ride took us through the valley of Aosta, close by the city of Aosta. And it takes about an hour to get from La Touille to the start of the next pass, Grand Saint Bernard, the big brother of Petit Saint Bernard. And the ride, unfortunately, is rather boring. So I will skip to the good part, to the beginning of Grand Saint Bernard Mountain Pass. Welcome to the hairpin bends of Grand Saint Bernard Mountain Pass. And you actually don't need to drive these if you don't want to. There's as well a tunnel called Grand Saint Bernard Tunnel that is about 6 kilometers long and that avoids this pass route and goes straight through the mountain. But we, of course, ride this pass. At an elevation of 2,469 meters, Great Saint Bernard Pass is the third highest road pass in Switzerland. and one of the most ancient passes through the Western Alps, with evidence of use as far back as the Bronze Age. At the highest point of the road you find Great Saint Bernard Hospice, which was founded in 1049 AD and which is the birthplace of the dog breed Saint Bernard. Back those days they were breeded to accompany the monks of the hospice. This is my favorite view of the pass here on the Swiss side, when you can look into this valley between the mountains and see the road there. I think it's so nice. Because our riding day had not been long enough yet, we again decided against the direct way home and instead took the smaller road through the regional park Gruyère Pays d'Onhut, direction Saanen and Gstaad. I promise, at one point I will make a longer video of this region, because rushing through like we did this day will not do it any justice. But our first Swiss meal since weeks for our late lunch was of course a real Swiss standard. Rösti with melted cheese. We're not quite home yet, but I have to admit that I already felt home all the last days, because the Alps and the mountains is where I grew up, so they are kind of home to me. But you know what the crazy thing is? I will be living in Switzerland from now on, so I can now say, welcome to my new home, welcome to Switzerland. I guess we can all agree that home is not a place, that home is where the heart is. But home is as well where the start is. It's a place that we leave, and it's a place we return to. It's a safe space, but at the same time, it's the place where each new adventure is born. And if we are brave enough to change our perspective and to look at our own home from the eyes of a traveler, we will realize how much more there is to discover. Get out there and explore the secrets of your own home. I promise it will be worth it. Because home is not only a place, home is where adventure is. Thanks to each and every one of you who joined my short series Destination Home and supports my videos with a thumbs up and a comment each week. And yes, you guys might have already expected it. I meanwhile left my home Switzerland again to head to the next adventure. The destination? Become a Patreon to support my journey and to see the live updates from the next place that I just traveled to. Until the first footage of my new adventure hits the channel, I will take you to another stunning place of my new home Switzerland next week, to some of the most beautiful roads of the whole country, and the mountain passes Furka, Grimsel and Susten. Tune in next Thursday to join a ride and subscribe to my channel to not miss out on all the next adventures. Got to go!